Fuck how you know. See man them man that take on the work, you know. Look how much bumbo clad shiny. Me not see no black man there to work, brother. Look here. Look how much shiny I work. I don't get fucked.
What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel again. Today there is a very interesting story and controversial topic: why are Chinese being forced out of Jamaica? Now before we jump in, I want to make it clear that this is a reaction and discussion video. We are here to understand what's happening here, different place, and learn from the situation. So let's get into it. At first glance, this is a headline. This headline is shocking. Jamaica has been home to Chinese community for generations. Chinese immigrants have contributed to the business, culture, and economic development across the island for many years. But recently, there have been growing conversation and tension surrounding some Chinese owner business and investment in Jamaica. So many Jamaica are asking questions. Are local business struggling to compete, or economy opportunity being shared fairly? These are difficult questions and they are not unique to Jamaica. Similar debates are happening in the country around the world. What really stands out to me is the frustration being expressed by some Jamaicans when people feel that jobs, opportunity, or local business are being affected. Emotion emotionally can run high. At the same time, it is important to remember that not every Chinese person or business should be judged based on their action of few. Communities are made up of individuals, and many Chinese Jamaica have been living peacefully on the island for generations. The bigger issue seems to be about economy, opportunity, and how development benefit the local people. I think the real question isn't simply why are being forced out in Jamaica, but rather how can Jamaica balance foreign investment while ensuring the local community always prosper? Because every country wants investment and grow, but citizens also want to feel included in that growth.
Chinese man say then done with Jamaica. They are finished with Jamaica. Then they pack them bag and go and left Jamaica. They don't want to have nothing to do with Jamaican people anymore. Then they pack up them businesses, them grandparents, everybody where they are Jamaica. Then they left everything. So, if you want to hear my thoughts and opinions on what these Chinese people have to say, please keep on watching your girl, cause I got a lot to say. So I was reading a news article in the Gleaner where they say the Chinese shun Jamaica. So I'm gonna say some of the direct things that they said in this news article. I don't agree with the title because Chinese can mean anything. They need to be more specific. But the Chinese businessmen and women of Jamaica that lives in Jamaica, that works in Jamaica, said then they left. They can't bother, then leaving. So the Chinese man that they were actually interviewing says while some business are still operating in Jamaica, they're investing in migration plans. So they're still working and collecting Jamaican dollars and selling the Jamaican people what their stuff, their products, and making money. But they're also having a backup plan. They're also getting all the money they can get from out the Jamaican people to migrate to somewhere else. The Chinese community is heavily targeted by criminals. They get robbed at gunpoint very often, hostage situation, and tied up at home. The Chinese had a meeting with JCF, and JCF is the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The superintendent relating to crime problems because they were on the verge of closing down all businesses in Jamaica. So the man that was being interviewed saying that the Chinese community is heavily targeted by criminals and they were on the verge of just giving up all their business and just closing everything down and leaving. And that's when they actually had a meeting with the superintendent about crime and violence in their community. And next the Chinese said the Chinese Mr. or Mrs. Chin is disrespectful. Cultural differences with Jamaicans are more outgoing and enthusiastic. Most Chinese leave in the retirement age because they don't feel safe. They don't feel like the healthcare system is going to be beneficial to them in the long run, and there's no benefit to paying taxes. So they can pay taxes and they won't get any benefits when they retire, basically. And they don't feel welcomed. So let me put on this. I wrote down everything that I said. So the Chinese people say that they're done with Jamaica, they are left, they don't feel welcome, the cultural differences is affecting them and all these things. So hi, hello. Did the Jamaican people ask you to come to their country? That's the first question. Did we ask you to migrate from China, Japan, any Asian countries that you belong to, or even America? Did we ask you to come to our country and open up businesses in our country? No, we did not ask you to do that. So if you leave, you will leave at your own free will, because we never invited you in our country, and for real, we don't need you in our country at all. It's full time now. Jamaica stand up on their own 2 feet and start go back to farming yam and dashing and cassava and all these things, and start make these Chinese people feeding dog coat, dog, rat, cat, horse and all these things. Okay, so the Chinese people saying that their cultural difference is a big issue, and the older Chinese people are more stuck in their ways and they don't understand the Jamaican culture because we're more enthusiastic, we're more outgoing, and they're a bit more laid back, conservative. If you're going to a country and if you're going to be doing business in a country, it's up to you to change. Is up to you to adapt to that country so that your businesses will survive, so that you can make surplus of your business. It's not up to the people to change up and fix up for your benefit. No, you were the one that went to Jamaica. Now you're the one that needs to adapt. And if you Chinese people that are in Jamaica would actually integrate yourself in our communities, actually get to understand Jamaican people instead of having your little communities outside of the Jamaican community, having like a Chinese area and then you have like a Jamaica area. If it's migrated into the Jamaican areas and actually try to understand Jamaican people, maybe you guys would feel welcome. Maybe you guys wouldn't be targeted. And it's very wrong that criminals are targeting them. It's very, very wrong. Nobody should be targeted, especially if you have a business. That should be a benefit to a community if somebody opens a business in a specific community. So, my thoughts, the Chinese people need to integrate into the community, and if they want to feel more welcome, they need to understand that we have cultural differences and we're different people, and they're the one that's supposed to change and adapt when they come to our country, not us. And to the Jamaican people, to my Jamaican brothers and sisters, full time, it is full time that y'all start planting back on a cassava, start raising a hog, cow, and all these things, because These Chinese people are feeding you rat, cat, dog, horse, donkey, and all these things without you knowing, without your consent or your knowledge. So then they feed you all sort of foolishness. They're fucking up your body, fucking up your digestive system. We have enough fucked up shit that goes through our digestive system every day. We don't need people to be falsely impersonating chicken and fish and all these things and giving it to us, okay? It's full time now. We start go back to old Jamaica, farming Jamaica, and stop depending on these people, because Jamaica depend on these Chinese people for their imported products. We need to be importing products out of Jamaica, not importing them back into Jamaica. We need to go back to the old days where importing food and stuff from Jamaica was a big business, okay? And honestly, the Chinese people talking about they don't feel welcome and they don't feel this and they don't feel that. Why are y'all still in Jamaica? Y'all are still making money. Y'all are still milking our communities for everything it has. So you talking about y'all leaving and you're making up migration plans is a bunch of bullshit. I'm sorry to say it's a bunch of bullshit, because if you guys didn't feel welcomed, if you guys felt like our cultural differences was such a big issue and it wasn't beneficial to you, y'all would have left a long time ago. So all that BS that you're talking about is all BS, because y'all have way more to gain being in Jamaica with your businesses than you have to lose, okay? Y'all make a lot of money out of the Jamaican communities each and every day, and y'all don't put any of it back into our communities. Y'all put it into your communities or send it back to your native land, to China. So what Jamaicans need to do is support people that is Jamaican, that putting back money into our communities, investing in our communities. And I don't know how many videos I have to say where Jamaican people need to start investing in their own. Chinese people talk about how them left and then they do this and they do that. If we were investing in our communities, making our own products, going back to the old days and farming and all these things, we wouldn't need any Chinese people to be in our country to provide any products at all, because we would still have our factories, we would still have manufacturing, and we would still be importing and making a lot of money importing products out of Jamaica. And that's what our people need to get back to. So that's my thoughts and opinions on this story. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and tell me in the comment section what you think about these Chinese people talking about them. I left Jamaica and they appear criminal, they target them, and the cultural difference. They don't like people call them Chinese, Mr. Chin and Mrs. Chin. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section, and tell me if you think Jamaica needs to go back to manufacturing and importing their own products, because I that me say and I that me mean. Anyway, I'm out of here. Deuce.
I don't know how difficult it is for you, but I actually can focus on more than one thing at the same time. I can express my concern for what these black capitalists are doing in the country in which I live, and I can also focus on what is happening with a so-called Chinese takeover in Jamaica. I can focus on those two things at the same time. With that being said, from the discourse that I've seen online, not a lot of Jamaicans are focused on this so-called Chinese takeover. Sure, people whisper, but whenever I speak or when other creators speak out and say, we should have some grace for Haitian refugees who are seeking asylum in Jamaica, and we should have some grace for people who are suffering in Jamaica, and we should be careful of how we are allowing foreign capitalists to come and take over certain industries. It's the same Jamaicans at home who are attacking us. It's the same Jamaicans at home who are telling us to mind our business. I also believe that there are bigger issues at play. And one of those issues is the way in which Jamaicans, especially those at home, have been conditioned that certain things are the way they are and should stay the way they are. It's the way how Jamaicans at home have been conditioned to believe that certain people belong in certain tier, and that is why I have seen a surprising number of people to me who are very unconcerned and very supportive of this takeover that you speak of, which is why I'm leaving it alone. I thought about making a video about it, but I'm leaving it alone because the last time I spoke up on here about how certain people were basically trivializing our black culture and trying to whitewash our culture on this here platform, it was Jamaicans, many black Jamaicans, who came to their defense against me. So I have learned my lesson, and I'm going to leave you all to deal with that takeover. While I can, acknowledge that there are certain things that I am uncomfortable with, for the most part, I'm going to leave the Jamaicans to figure this one out.
With the Chinese and the wholesalers, when they come up and they start up their business, I think for the first 5 years they don't have to pay tax, but they found a loophole around it where they try to open up other businesses so they just keep on going and not paying any tax. That's what I've heard. And we don't have those same privileges as Jamaicans, so it's harder for us. And it's like, obviously the government wants them here because more business, more money in the economy, more jobs, but it's just like, why can't you provide all these benefits and resources to your own people, like other countries do? Like, why are you for other people and not for Jamaicans? It's kind of crazy.
If you come in a wholesale and you can't read, that's alright. Me help you, right? But you see, if you can't read and you go on like you can read, at them time there you look like fool. Let me give you an example with the things that me have to deal with at daytime. One lady come in here and ask me the germs lotion. Germs lotion. And then when me ask her, germs lotion, miss? I don't know, germs lotion, that one there up there, so. I have no problem when people dance, But how you fit dance and have attitude with it? And that me not get. How? That don't make no sense.
We suffer every day. Can you imagine? We have been here for centuries and we're still lagging around. If we to start a business in Jamaica, it's one of the hardest things to start a business. While the Chinaman come from China, come to Jamaica, start a business, none tax for 5 years. And by the time the 5 years come when he start pay tax, he making cousin and he never and uncle come and him gone. So, and listen, this have been happening for centuries. So this have nothing to do with PNP or JLP. And you know, at the end of the day, none of them no want to fix it because all of them want us to, the black man.
I don't like the way in which the Jamaican government has allowed the Chinese to come in and take over. I believe they own the major port there. I believe that the Jamaican government has given them lands in exchange for services. I believe they built at least one hospital there, a couple of schools. They had constructed a north-south highway or northwest highway that connects one part of the island to the other, so you don't have to drive all the way around to get there, which was necessary. But from what I read, in exchange for them building the highway, the Jamaican government has allowed them to keep, I believe, nearly all of the toll fees on that highway for a certain amount of years. We're giving up too much to get too little. And what bothers me the most about Jamaica, they are the most Pan-Africanist and the most unapologetic of the Caribbean islands. And so if China can take Jamaica, taking the rest of the Caribbean won't be that difficult.
Jamaicans aren't only being pushed out of their beaches, but gradually they're being pushed out of business. Check this out.
Chinese mechanics in Jamaica should go 20-30 cars a day like clockwork, while Jamaican mechanics, they carry around stuck in the garage sometime for a whole week. But how did the Chinese get here? How did they set up shop so fast right in front of our eyes? Listen, foreigners are coming in, buying land, running businesses, owning Jamaica, and we're becoming visitors in our own land. Just like some places in Africa where people now work for foreigners in their own country. Sooner or later, the Chinese going to control the parts distribution and shut us out.
I already think it's too late for Jamaicans. And the reason why I say that, because back in 2015, Jamaica signed an agreement with China, allowing China to control one of their biggest and most important ports for 30 years. And that's the port of Kingston. So China dictates what goes into Jamaica and what goes out of Jamaica. So I'm pretty sure all these Chinese business owners already have a connection with distributors in China. So they have direct contact with the distributors when it comes to supplies and keeping their stores in stock. So as you gradually see Chinese businesses pop up, you see less Jamaican businesses. So Jamaicans are gradually becoming workers for foreigners. And who allows another country to control your ports, allow what comes in and outside of your country? Like I said, it's already a wrap, at least for 30 years.
So everyone has been asking how the Chinese mechanics got into Jamaica. Well, here are the facts. Did you know that in 2015, Jamaica signed over the Kingston Freeport, our main port, our lifeline to China, who has full control for 30 years? Now they control what comes in and they control what goes out. That's why the Chinese mechanics and other companies move the way they want. No one to answer to. No real checks. No oversight. They run the port, they hold the gate. Why do you think it's after the fact Pika stepped in? Because they don't even know what's going on. But somebody know. Because when it comes to these little things, don't think you can think on the same level you were programmed to think on. You have to change your frequency sometimes. And we're standing on the outside of our own house. We can't even act like we never know. Listen, we will never get out of slavery. Because a nation that can't even control its own port is a nation already conquered, just without the chain.
Something really wrong is going on in Kingston and St. Andrew. There is a set of people that don't care about community building, that don't care about families, that don't care about community, and they only care about making money. If you haven't been to Kingston and St. Andrew in a while, you can't be in a one street and you don't see one apartment building. Now, some of these apartment buildings are well positioned. Some of them make sense, right? The corporate area and all them thing there. But when you spread out a little bit out and you go into the communities them, when you see mom and pop home with them little backyard and thing, and right beside them yard is one tall rotted building that don't make no sense. The people them they upstairs looking at you downstairs hanging your panty on the clothesline. Between you, one big building sandwiched in the middle of two homes, of two family homes. So now imagine me now having a beautiful day today. As me leave me yard, what that me see right beside my gate? What is that me see right beside my gate? One sign that say intention to build apartment units. Now, if you don't know me or if you don't follow me, if you never watch my video them, please go watch them. Me live in the bush. Me live in some hill bush. Me live in the bush. This empty lot is between me and my two neighbors. So this apartment building would be sandwiched between three family homes, that which privacy will be completely destroyed, which there is no road to go up there, so because don't see me take cooking oil go try fix up the road there. Them want carry people go up there in an apartment and the place don't have no road. There's no road go up there. The place far up in the hills. Which apartment gonna keep up there, so right? Now you tell me now, why will you want to disturb? First of all, you come in and cut off the wall of the trees them. Deforest the place. The birds didn't know what to do with themselves. And now come in with sign that say I put up apartment building in a tiny, because I want a tiny lot in the middle of the bush, sandwiched in between two family homes. I don't care if people are going to go up this or not. I don't care if it has a good point of sale or not. All I care about is the fact that are destroying Jamaica Uno are destroying Jamaican communities. Uno are destroying Jamaican communities, because even sometimes when Uno don't get the old dilapidated house to buy and tear down and put Uno dot in thinking apartment mashes box in the sky, so all Uno do a scam people with a liquor mashes box in the sky. It's not, and I'm not talking about this because it born me and it affect me now. I have spoken about this plenty of time before, because there's a place for everything. Ambush sandwich between 2 family home, 3 family home is not a place for an apartment building. To all the contractors out there, I'm not saying to stop doing business. I am saying to do consciously, respectfully, with ethic. You don't need to have ethic. There is a place for everything. A community, a neighborhood is not a place for an apartment complex. Uno sick in a uno head. You see the place where I show that where they white bones in a Constant Spring? Uno can put apartment building there, so there's no family home. It's a commercial place. Uno very well uno put an apartment building over there, so you understand what I say? A community, a street where kids play in the street and families jog out there and cows roam around the place. It's not the place for an apartment building. Don't be so greedy. Why you want to be so unethical? And build a skyscraper to sell mashes boxing at the skies, which by the way most likely are going to just sit down there, so because there is a overstock in a town. Me don't know who. If people know I buy it down, yes, on a Kingston 6, Kingston 8, Kingston 10, who is going to go buy apartment in the bush? Just have a little conscience, please. And for those of you who are not contractors, whenever you can, please raise your voice. Please raise your voice, because these buildings, these apartment buildings, are destroying communities, families. They are pricing out families. A family that could have purchased that land to be their family home were priced out by a developer. Thank you so much for watching. Much love.
I have a question for Andrew Holness, Kamina J. Smith, and Dr. R.S. Chang. As a Jamaican, I'm really concerned, and I just want to express myself, and maybe other Jamaicans feel the same way. In Jamaica, we have over 76,000 Chinese living there, whether they are Chinese descendants or recently migrated to Jamaica, right? Boom. Chinese are able to work in our country, have businesses for over 5 years without paying taxes, while Jamaican people or Jamaican new entrepreneurs who start businesses have to pay taxes off rip. First of all, they can't even get funding to start a business, much less. Now, what the Chinese them do is once you reach 5 years, they just call down another family member and put the business in their name, and the process continues and they don't pay taxes, right? But that's not really why I'm here. I'm here because I realized that even as Jamaicans, we need a visa to go to China. But check this out. Chinese don't need a visa to come to Jamaica. That is unfair. To me, that's all ridiculous. You know how much Jamaicans would love to go to China for whatever reasons, whether short stay, business, or pleasure. Like, there gotta be some type of renegotiation. This is 2025, not 1865. So Andrew Holness, Dr. R.S. Chang, and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Kamina J. Smith, my namesake, please, me I beg you, look into this. Think about it as a politician. Me I have the education I have, you know. Zane, I don't know a doctor and them thing. I'm just a regular Jamaican. I have sense and common sense. So, Uno tell me, the scholars, if that makes sense. Uno really need to do something about that. Do something about all of these countries where can come to our country and all these things and get all these easy access to things. But Jamaicans have to struggle so much. Enough fear. Do something about that. I beg you, please.
Jamaican construction worker. How you stay so? Why we not overcharge people them? Me come for the laborer them, and who me come for talk to right now, the laborer. $5,000 a day family for one laborer. Talking God truth now. $5,000 a day and you no trade man. And that you put on the price to you a thief. And watch this now no. No for you no thing you come on the site and do. A smoke and drink beer rum. Because in a Jamaica, you have a thing. If rum not up on the site, you don't want to work on it. But you not pay you $5,000 a day if you drink rum and smoke cushy all day. Nobody now do them thing the family. Because you have to look in on yourself and change up some things while go on a yard. You know mad? $5,000 a day for one laborer. You have to start from 8 to 5. You reach till almost 9 o'clock. You have to get 1 hour lunch break. And enough of you lunch break go to 2 hours. When you left 5 o'clock in the evening, you start draft at 4 o'clock. And you want $5,000 a day. You know mad. You see, the Chinese them are beat on nobody. Because the Chinese them I take $3,000 a day. Up what the place name again? Here in a crossroad there, so them have a construction company. The Chinese them. $3,000 a day them we take for laborer. And when them come for your work, them not smoke. Them not ask if you no rum. If them fi come 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock them did a sharp. If them fi left 5 o'clock, at 5 o'clock. If them fi take 1 hour lunch break, at 1 hour lunch break them at take. But you no want charge $5,000 and then you want take 2 hour lunch break, come late, do 1 bag of foolishness for the time and expect people to give you $5,000. You no fi stop it. The tradesman them done a beat too bad already and you come take up that dirty habit there. $5,000 for one laborer, you come sit down and smoke and drink special for your site. Mad or no mad man. The Chinese go and beat on the bad with that $3,000 there where them come with. Who know a flap on yourself? Who know a flap on yourself? A master builder need to drop something to try to help the people them with a bill. Because enough of them mason here and trade man here don't want to see people bill. Because enough of them can't bill. Them bad mind. About $5,000 a day. On the move and go on a thief like.
Drop your thoughts in the comment section, and if you enjoyed this reaction and want more content about Jamaican and Caribbean culture and the global story making the headline, make sure you like, subscribe and turn on notification. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in my next reaction. One love, Jamaica.